So first up, focusing on the fit. Don't try to flex. One of the things I love about menswear is that tailoring beats trends. And seriously, I don't have anything against fashion, but a classic piece that fits a man well. A sweater that fits in the shoulders, in the chest, is the right length, hits the wrist bone where it should. Well, gents, the right fit can pretty much make any garment look better than a more expensive piece made by a name brand that doesn't fit you properly. Next up, look for texture, not logos. Again, I got nothing against brands. A lot of people find a brand that works for them, they stick with it. But if you want to look good in the fall, you need to leverage all the different textures, all the different fall weaves that you've got at your disposal. Now, the obvious one is knitwear. We see it not only in sweaters, but also in a wide variety of shirts and polos. But don't be afraid to bring in other textured fabrics like flannels. We see that a lot in trousers and suiting. Corduroy, very common in trousers, sometimes seen in jackets. Suede, popular in jackets and seen in footwear, especially weather-resistant suede. Herringbone, a personal favorite, we see a lot in suiting and shirting. What I love is from a distance, it looks like a solid. You get up close, all of a sudden you see the unique pattern. Gents, leverage the power of texture. It signals taste without shouting. Next up, let's talk about the one accent rule. So in general, when you're putting outfits together, I think that 80 to 90% of the clothing in the outfit should be in neutrals. We're talking navy, charcoal, gray, olive, chocolate, camel, stone. These are your foundational colors. They're easy to mix and match. And when it comes to investment pieces like jackets, trousers, shoes, I like to keep them in these colors. Accent colors, on the other hand, rust, burgundy, gold, teal, tobacco, royal purple, pink. These are the accent pieces that catch the eye. And again, when the rest of the outfit is neutral, this is going to be the piece that's going to stand out, that is going to draw attention. So understanding that, keep the accent color to one piece. The next rule to stepping up your style without looking like a tryhard is to dress one level up from the default setting. What I mean by that is gauge the room. If everyone else is dressing, wearing a hoodie, then can you bring in maybe a chore coat? Could you bring in a relatively casual sweater? If the general consensus is to wear sneakers, maybe you want to sneak in a pair of leather sneakers or a pair of leather boots. Both are still casual, but those leather sneakers with that bit of accent, these just have a bit of style. Your goal at this point is not to be overdressed, it is to be deliberate. You want to set yourself apart without having to say anything. The next guideline here, repeat the material once. So you've got suede boots on, maybe bring in a suede belt. If you've got some black leather boots, maybe wear a black strap on the watch. The goal here is to give off a subtle look, not an overly styled one. So now you know what not to do. So then that leaves us with the actions you should take if you want to level up your wardrobe this fall. Well, my first tip then is to leverage color. Bring in a 3-color fall palette. I got tons of options here for you, but 2 I'm going to recommend are navy, olive, and rust, or charcoal, chocolate, and burgundy. Now notice the formula here. You want to have a dark base. Navy or charcoal in this instance. Next up, you want to have an earthy mid that we're going to mix in with this. In this case, it's the olive and the chocolate. And then finally, you want to have a warm accent. This is going to be the rust and the burgundy. Now, the reason these colors and palettes work is they reflect what we see in nature. These hues and the combination of using them in conjunction gives us a feeling of the season. My next tip to leveling up your style this fall is to lock in 2 go-to uniforms. This is where you piece together some items out of your closet that just work together and work for the season. So for a smart casual, your weekday option, maybe an unstructured navy blazer, a light blue or ecru Oxford, pair it with some charcoal flannel trousers, and all of this on a foundation of brown suede chukkas. Now what about for the weekend? Let's go with an elevated casual look. The foundation, we got a pair of tobacco laced boots. We pair that with dark rinsed jeans, and then pair that with a bold choice right here, an oatmeal crew neck sweater, and throw over the top an olive green field jacket. Now, of course, if you understand the interchangeable wardrobe, you can mix and match things here. But yeah, these 2 outfits, especially when you're not working from home, you wear these out and about, you're going to feel good, you are going to look good. Step 3, you want to upgrade your outerwear. I know, you've got that hoodie that you've had for 5 seasons, you love it. Now, don't throw it out, but put it in a box, put it in the back of the closet. You can wear it when you're doing work around the house. But no, let's upgrade that. Can you maybe bring in a wool sports jacket? Okay, if that's too fancy, maybe go with a wool field jacket. You want something tough? Maybe go with a chore jacket. Gents, I can tell you all 3 of these options are going to keep you warm, and they're 10 times more stylish. Next up, let's talk about those textured knits. So yes, most guys have at least one crew neck sweater, but there's so many different options when it comes to the necks. As you can see, I've got a polo right here. You can go with one that has a rolled neck. If you like to wear dress shirts underneath, go for a classic V-neck. But seriously, even the more casual quarter zip, when it comes to comparing that to hoodies, guys, knitwear is so much more stylish and there are so many options. Seriously, if jackets aren't your thing, but you want something that still has the buttoned look and you like sweaters, guys, look to the classic cardigan or even a sweater jacket. Not only they are incredibly comfortable, but every time you wear this, you're going to stand out from the crowd. You are going to look good this fall. Now, we mentioned suede footwear earlier. Guys, there are tons of options when it comes to footwear in the fall. Boots, one of my favorite, but if you want to have fun, I know a lot of you guys already have a pair of laced boots. Guys, look to suede boots. You'd be surprised at how tough suede is whenever it is treated. These boots, I can tell you, they just scream fall, because not only do they have the textured surface, but in general, most suede boots are going to be in colors that just work for this season. And when it comes to matching with trousers, they work perfectly with any type of dark denim, or if you got trousers in flannel, cords, or moleskin, they're going to work as well. Next up, don't be afraid of patterns. One of my favorite in jackets, sports jackets in particular, we're going to see herringbone. Again, from a distance, it looks solid. You get up close, especially if they're using a contrasting fiber, you're going to be able to see the pattern very clearly. Another classic jacket for the fall is going to be in tweed. Now, tweed isn't exactly a pattern, but it is a particular style of weave. Used historically in the United Kingdom, this was a jacket designed actually for hunting, one to be tough, one to actually be resistant to wind. Other patterns we're going to see out there great for fall, I think, are Glen checks and a variety of plaids. Now, plaids are going to be more complex patterns, oftentimes using some brighter colors, so you want to keep these to smaller pieces like shirts, neckwear, accessories like pocket squares. But I find if you're looking to add an accent piece, you want to bring in a bit of color. You can often find a shirt or a scarf in one of these colors and they look great and they give off a really nice fall vibe. Now, this next tip is a little bit more advanced and you're probably going to need to add a couple pieces to your wardrobe to get it, and that is when you're looking at the metals. A lot of times we go with a shiny silver or gold. Instead, look for something that's in matte, something that has a brushed finish to it. This is usually going to be on your accessories, and in particular, I'm talking about like antiqued brass. These type of rougher metals just have a fall type of vibe. They definitely are going to be more casual, but if you can introduce them to your wardrobe, they definitely are going to help with a really refined fall look. So I covered a lot there, but I know a lot of you guys are just looking for pieces that you can insert into your existing wardrobe. Here are some options. So an unstructured wool sports coat. Now, because it's unstructured, it's going to be a little bit more casual, but it's also going to be a little bit easier to fit into and layer with sweaters. I find for the most versatility, sticking with a color that you know is already going to work. So navy, dark gray, medium gray, or if you're like me, you already have a wardrobe set that you can wear brown jackets, you can wear green jackets, and it's going to work with your trousers. You can also go with a solid color like that. Now, when it comes to patterns, there are the classic houndstooth and things like that out there, but understand these are going to be harder to mix and match, and whenever you wear them, people are going to remember them, so it may be harder to wear these multiple days in a row, which I find I do with jackets when I'm traveling. Next up, let's talk about field jackets. So these are going to be casual jackets, usually are going to have pockets right here on the front, big patch pockets that were for carrying ammunition. Field jackets come in a wide variety of different materials. One of the classic outer materials we're going to see out there is waxed cotton. I'll tell you straight up, when it comes to casual style, a waxed field jacket is a classic piece, which I know doesn't suit all lifestyle, but if it does suit yours, find a way to be able to get this into your wardrobe. It is a classic fall look that just looks good. Now, if that last jacket doesn't work for you, but you still want something that's tough, I talked about this, but look to a chore or a utility jacket. Now, these type of jackets are a little bit harder to find, but they are classic pieces, have been around for over 100 years. They've got storied histories, and they are going to be very functional. And another thing you'll find with a lot of these jackets is they are unlined. So that's great because you're going to be able to layer them with pieces underneath like a Henley or long sleeve t-shirt, and the combination is going to look solid. Now, I mentioned sweaters. The classic right here is the crew neck, and the colors that you want to be looking at for your sweaters, again, you want to keep these in neutrals, so I'm going to recommend charcoal, navy, oatmeal, and even black. And you may be wondering, because normally I don't recommend black, but when it comes to knitwear, I find that black isn't as harsh as compared with when it's in suiting. And in general, you do want to understand the different types of fiber when it comes to knitwear. You are going to see a wide variety from merino wool to synthetics to cottons to even linens. My advice here is to buy the best that you can afford. If you need to buy a synthetic, then go for it. There are some decent options out there, but in general, these are going to pill more than a high quality merino wool, which also is going to do in general a better job of insulating you from the cold. I did mention cottons and linen. Those are going to be the toughest. Those you can throw in the wash, but I would encourage you, if you're looking for a warm winter sweater, to avoid them because they just aren't going to have the same insulating properties as wool or cashmere. Now, if you're looking to level up your style, you really need to check out my free community over on School. I've set this community up so we've got free classes that you can make your way through step by step and learn the basic foundations of men's style. We actually have giveaways. In fact, over the last year, I've given away over $25,000 in gear that has accumulated here in my office, and I love sending it out to you guys free of charge. And I have to say, the men that are in this group are friggin' awesome. We've got a no a-hole policy. People treat each other with respect. And what we've managed to create in this community is a place where a man can come in and ask questions and get some solid advice. So gents, use the link in the description of today's video. Go check out our free communities on School. These are for you to become the man you know yourself to be. So let's talk about shirting. So one of my favorites for the fall is the OCBD, the Oxford Collared Button Down. Now, Oxford Collared Button Downs, as the name implies, are made from an Oxford material, an Oxford fabric, which has a unique weave that oftentimes will leverage two different colored yarns, and so from a distance gives the appearance of a solid color, but you could actually see when you get up close that there are two separate colored yarns sewn together in a way to create a seamless fabric. Now, another thing with this shirt is it's got a soft button-down collar. This is really nice because it's casual, has a storied history, but this isn't a shirt that you're going to want to dress up with a suit. And even though you can wear it with a tie, this one is going to be more casual, again, to be able to wear it with those unstructured sports jackets or even a nicer field jacket if you so choose. Now, the next shirt I want to talk about is the classic flannel shirt. You're going to see this in a wide variety of colors and patterns, but if you're just getting into flannel shirting, I would highly recommend you just go with something in a darker color that is solid, because it's just simply easier to wear, probably to match with the existing clothing in your wardrobe, and it's not as bold and therefore casual as some of its more colorful varieties. Now, since we're talking about shirting, let's talk about a jacket that falls between shirting and jackets, and that is a shacket. Yes, an overshirt. It's called a variety of things. Basically, this interesting garment, which most guys don't even know about, is made from a heavier material, but it's still cut and designed like a shirt. It is made to be worn over a shirt and is worn untucked like a jacket. It is overall casual, but I do find wearing this, especially maybe over a sweater or a long sleeve t-shirt, can give a much more refined, casual, rugged look than if you were to opt to not wear it. Also, because of the tightness of the weave and the material used, it's somewhat weather resistant. It's not going to be rain resistant, but it is going to be wind resistant, especially if you're just wearing a sweater underneath it. Now, earlier we did talk about trousers, and I talked about gray flannel trousers. I skipped over them pretty quick. Guys, these are some of the most versatile trousers you can ever own. You're going to have to look around. They come in a variety of different styles, different cuts. But as I've said before, the color gray is such a great color to wear because it's a non-color, so you can pretty much wear it with any type of shirting. You can dress these trousers up with a sports jacket. You can dress them down with a Henley. That being said, if you look around, you'll find flannels in a variety of colors. And if you're out there looking for some great trousers and you happen to find a pair of moleskin, or you see something out there in corduroy, don't be afraid to check it out, try it on, see if you like it. Again, classic trouser materials that are a little bit harder to come by, but if you can find them, yeah, they will level up your fall wardrobe. All right, gents, what did I miss? What would you have added to this video to make it better? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, you are going to love this one. Boom, right here. Seriously, you want to dress good this fall, this winter? I got you covered with this video. Boom, right here. Oh yeah, go check it out.